if Trump said, "No matter what, I will not leave office," right? That would
Right.
that would harm him in these cases.
I know why it's going around on Twitter, definitely.
Oh yeah, 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 sure. And I know why they chose this clip because it sounds really bad. So, as you guys know, uh, there's this lawsuit that's going on in Georgia, and
Mm-hmm.
it's the lawsuit about the quote fake slash alternative electors stuff. And there's the RICO charge that's hitting Trump and Jenna Ellis and Rudy Giuliani and all these other people, for creating the fake slash alternative electors, trying to get the state legislatures to overthrow the votes, blah 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 blah. Like that. This is a big case that's going on right now. Jenna Ellis and some other very big key people involved who supposedly did very potentially illegal things have taken plea deals where they will testify, presumably, against Donald Trump to some capacity in order to, get a lesser or no charge. And so this is a clip from some of her testimony that ABC News has reported. A lot of people on the left are saying, oh my God, this spells doom for Donald Trump. A lot of people on the right are saying this isn't a big deal. So I'm curious to get your take on it. We'll listen to it, and I'm curious to what your take right off the bat is when you listen to it.
Why aren't people on the left saying it's not a big deal and people on the right are saying this is devastating? Why is it the way it is?
Because people on the left want it to be a big deal to destroy Donald
Oh,
Trump,
okay.
and people on the
Oh,
right don't
okay.
want it to be a big deal to
Oh,
defend
okay.
Trump.
So it's some kind of bias going on then.
Yes, obviously. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look, we're unbiased here. We're just gonna look at it and
Of course.
see what happens.
Of course. Yeah.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. And at the time period that we're going to start to discuss, what was Dan Scavino's role?
At the time, I believe his title was social media director for the White House. It became deputy chief of staff at the time that the conversation in question took place.
Okay, and when was that?
The conversation was around December 19th of 2020 at the White House Christmas party. And I emphasized to him, I thought that the claims and the ability to challenge the election results was essentially over, because he said to me in a kind of excited tone, well, we don't care and we're not going to leave. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, the boss, meaning President Trump, and everyone understood the boss. That's what we all called him. He said the boss is not going to leave under any circumstances. We are just going to stay in power. And I said to him, well, it doesn't quite work that way, you realize. And he said, we don't care.
Okay. And
So,
Okay. So how do you feel
first
about
thing
it?
is, I do think calling him the boss is kind of cool. Can you call me the boss now, Sitch? I think that would be a good title for me.
Yeah, but that would be dishonest
The boss?
because you're not the boss.
Look, I do everything. Well, I guess,
Doesn't make you the boss.
look, I guess maybe you're the boss of the
That
Sunday
makes you the
show.
slave. What do you mean?
You do more than me.
Listen, listen, like all the socials say, I'm the boss who sits up here in my high tower doing nothing and making all the workers work beneath me. Okay.
This does seem kind of devastating to me on first blush.
Why do you say that?
Well, isn't she talking about Trump's chief of staff?
Deputy chief of staff, yeah.
Yeah, deputy chief of Scaramucci is his name, I believe, or something like that, something to that effect. If she's saying that they don't care, they're going to stay in power. They don't care about the rules of the election.
Dan Scavino, I believe.
Oh, Scavino?
Yeah.
Thanks for looking it up.
Yeah.
Boss.
Say, there it is.
Anyway,
Okay.
what do you? Yeah, I mean, you've had time to reflect on it. I mean, look, I know why it's going around on Twitter. Definitely.
Oh yeah, sure. And I know why they chose this clip to go up, because it sounds really bad. Because you have someone essentially saying, the deputy chief for Trump saying that they don't really care what's going on, and that he's going to makes a declaration that they're going to stay in power regardless of whether it's legal or not, which is obviously a very incendiary thing to say.
I don't know that it affects the case though, because isn't a component of the case that Trump had to know that he lost the election and didn't care whether or not he lost the election. This clip doesn't really weigh in on that particular claim.
So no. So that's a component of a different case. That's a component of the January 6th federal case.
Okay.
Would be
This
did
is the
Trump-
state case.
This is the electors case. Yeah, that'd be a component of the federal case. Is did Trump know he won the election? Because they're charging him with committing fraud against voters or something. And so in order to defraud the voters, you have to know you're committing fraud.
Right.
So with this case, well, obviously if they could prove or they had some evidence that Trump knew if they had evidence that Trump knew he lost the election, then that would be devastating in the Georgia case, obviously. It'd be devastating in any case. But it's not necessary because the electors case, regardless of whether he thought he won or lost the election, he would still know that creating fake electors is not legal.
Right.
And trying to pass them off to the Pence and to try to get Pence to accept them. You can make the argument, as the people on the right have, is that, Pence had the power to do this action to, throw out the votes and all that stuff. And so you can kind of make a legal argument. Well, that wasn't illegal, or he wouldn't think it was illegal because he was told that, there's some weird legal theory that's fine. But even if that element, you make that argument, you can't really, I don't know how you make the argument that creating a document that says, I have the legal authority of the state, when you don't. Everyone knows that that's not true. Everyone knows that that's illegal. You can't write on a legal you can't write on a document, I have the legal authority of the state of Georgia, and then try to do something with that document when you don't have the legal authority of the state of Georgia. Everyone knows that. That's not, so to me, the intention there is so clear that, I don't know how you can argue against that.
Right. So who is it? Is this devastating?
Okay. So for this clip, this clip is going to make the rounds publicly. It's going to create a lot of public energy about it, especially on the left. I agree with you. I don't think it's actually that devastating to the case. It's devastating to the case in terms of if you play this for a jury, it will affect them emotionally. But in terms of the actual legality of what's going on here, I don't think this matters so much in terms of getting Trump. It might matter in terms of getting the other people to say there was an atmosphere cultivating of Trump was going to retain the presidency regardless of what was legal or not. But in terms of what Trump's intentions are, or what his motivations are, this video alone, I don't think establishes that, because he didn't say Trump said this. He just said,
right, the chief of staff said it.
The deputy chief of staff just made this declaration. He didn't say that Trump, the boss, said this.
Right.
And there's also an interesting thing in this clip where there's a hard cut, which I don't know why there's that hard cut in the middle of what she's saying.
Right.
So there could be some context there.
That's where she said Trump didn't know any of this.
Yeah, there you go. I'm assuming what she was going to say was something about how because I'm assuming that part of her defense will be that, I was going around trying to get the state legislatures to overturn the votes. I was trying to get these electors to do the fake electors thing, but this was all in service of if there was a recount or we won a lawsuit. I'm assuming that's what her defense is going to be. And she's going to say once the deadline came in December, okay, the safe harbor deadline was passed, and we sent the electors, to DC. I was saying, oh, well, it's over. And here's the deputy chief saying, no, we're going to keep doing something. And she's going to try to absolve herself from the second part of the elector scheme, which was to try to pass them off to Mike Pence. That'd be my guess is what she's going to do.
She took a plea deal, though. She has immunity, so she can say whatever. She doesn't have to. She can look as bad as she wants, as she would look.
No, right. But I'm saying, but that was probably her argument to get the plea deal also in the first place. So just kind of safe, to say why she should get the lower end plea deal, because I'm assuming she's going to get some slap on the wrist for this.
Can we watch it one more time?
Sure.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. And at the time period where they were going to start to discuss what was Dan Scavino's role
At the time, I believe his title was social media director for the White House. It became deputy chief of staff at the time that the conversation in question took place.
Okay, and when was that?
The conversation was around December 19th of 2020 at the White House Christmas party. And I emphasized to him, I thought that the claims and the ability to challenge the election results was essentially over, because he said to me in a kind of excited tone, well, we don't care and we're not going to leave. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, the boss, meaning President Trump, and everyone understood the boss, that's what we all called him. He said the boss is not going to leave under any circumstances. We are just going to stay in power. And I said to him, well, it doesn't quite work that way, you realize. And he said, we don't care.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's nothing about the claim of whether or not they won or lost the election. So Trump could still be thinking he won the election, and there's no way he's going to leave because the election was stolen from him.
Yeah, but that is removed from the claim. Like, even if Trump honestly believes that he won the election, that doesn't give him the legal ability to break the law to stay in office.
No, I agree,
Right.
but I'm just looking for the component on the other case. They're looking for
right.
some piece of evidence that Trump knew he lost the election. And I thought that this might be a piece of evidence, but it doesn't seem to be.
No,
Obviously,
but see,
I would like to see the whole thing.
right, I agree. Yeah, no, it doesn't. But if Trump said, or they had evidence or someone testifying that Trump said, no matter what, I will not leave office, right? That would
Right.
harm him in these cases.
Correct.
Definitely. Because then it's like there's a new thing, obviously, because it's not legal to. Now, he did leave office, so that would help him, because he'd say, well, even if he said that, he left office, right? So anyway, the whole point is, this is a clip. It sounds really bad, obviously, because what the guy said was really bad. But I don't think that it's going to have a huge impact on the Georgia case or the federal case, unless there's something else that goes with this that we haven't seen yet that ties that statement into Trump making it himself.
Yeah.
So.
Well, interesting development. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Clip it, CT.
There you go.
Hi, you just listened to a clip from the Sitch and Adams show. If you like what you heard, you can listen to our live show right here on this channel on Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And if you want, you can super chat us. We read $20 and up super chats on the show, and then do a follow-up stream on the following Tuesday where we read the rest of the unread super chats and interact with fans of the show. Subscribe to this channel right here to listen to the live show or to listen to more of our awesome clips.